Had each district that we contacted pick one teacher that just stood above the rest and deserved to be recognized. And at D32 in Perryville, it's second grade primary teacher, Stephanie Steffens. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning.
How are you?
Wonderful. A beautiful sunny day.
Yes, it is. You know, second grade is, I think, maybe the only grade I would be able to teach because they're still sweet. They're cute and they're still sweet.
Absolutely. It is the best age group, for sure.
Yeah, and that's when the awakening begins, that they can write and they can do things and they can read things. And I'm sure you just spend half of your day marveling at the awesomeness you can see in their eyes when they get it.
Absolutely. And it's a year of such growth from when they come to us as early second graders, almost end of the year first graders. And this is absolutely the time in their life where they were emergent readers when they come, and they're getting confident in their reading and writing and math, all of the things. It is the best age.
Yeah,
for sure.
And they still have respect, most of them. That's the best part.
They do.
Yeah, they're still sweet
They love
babies.
me. They still love me.
They think you're God. That's what they think. All right,
That's absolutely true.
How long have you been teaching?
I have been teaching 29 years.
Holy cannolis. So do you run into some of the people from 20 years ago and they're like, "Hi, Mrs. Steffens"?
Absolutely. It actually just happened this week. I was taking a walk, and I had this guy on a motorcycle go by, and he ended up turning around, pulling over on the side of the road, and I'm just on the sidewalk, and he stopped, and he was like, "Can I ask you a question?" And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Did you have me in second grade?" And I'm like, "What's your name?" And he was like, "Brett." And I'm like, "Yeah." And it was the most amazing thing for me as a teacher is he was in my first second grade class, and he kind of just got to talking about like how we didn't give up on him, and it was amazing. And of course I have tears running down my face the rest of my walk. But yeah, it's things like that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
I'm getting the vapors. That could have gone two ways. He could have been a creep.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, who is this?" And enough that he pulled his motorcycle over to get out. And like we ended up taking a selfie and just got to catch up on what he was doing with his life. And but yeah, it was very like a full circle moment, especially getting to the end of my teaching career, to where you're like, "Oh my gosh, I meant enough that he pulled his motorcycle over to come and say hi to me."
Yeah, and when you went into teaching, you probably never thought things like that would mean so much to kids. But another thing about him pulling over, I guess it's a huge compliment because you haven't changed that much.
I guess
he knew who you were.
He did know who I was. That's for sure.
That's awesome. Let me wipe the tears out of my eyes because, dang,
I know.
I'm not even a crybaby, but that one really touched me.
And we took a selfie, and it was definitely like me reflecting on being a teacher and the impact that we do make in their lives, even at the age of 7 and 8 years old, that you can be impactful on the direction of their life.
I remember every single one of my teachers from every single grade. I remember things that they taught me. I remember how they treated me. I remember everything. I even remember how they smelled, most of them. And
absolutely.
When you get older and you start switching classes, it gets a little bit more different, but it gets a little different, but kids never forget their teachers. So when you choose that career path, people need to know that.
Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. So what would you say to young people who are looking at getting into teaching right now?
Do it. Especially, I am probably the oldest. I am the veteran teacher in my primary center with 29 years. I I encourage all of them to don't give up. Teaching starts out hard, and it's not the easiest profession in the whole world, but it's one of the most rewarding and something that kids will always come back, and they no matter where you're at, they will come up to you, whether you're in Walmart, whether you're at their sporting events, their band concerts, their plays. It does mean a lot to them. Mm-hmm. And I think that going into teaching, that is such a fulfillment that I encourage anybody who is thinking about going into the teaching profession, just do it.
Yeah.
It is so rewarding.
Well, and you're a special soul, too. Have you taught second grade the entire time?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not. I did speech therapy before getting into the classroom. So, but I have been in second grade, and I hopefully will retire from second grade. So
yeah, that's amazing. And you have to have a heart for other people's children. That's the part of me that's missing. I mean, I love children. I love other people's children, but when they're naughty, I have a really hard time with other people's children.
It can be a challenge sometimes, but you gotta have your coping techniques, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's so true. And I just think back to my teachers and the teachers of my grandchildren. I remember the ones who made them feel special. I remember the ones who made them cry and treated them badly. We remember everything about our teachers, and I'm sure you had a teacher who probably inspired you to be a teacher.
Absolutely, and my mom is a retired teacher. My husband is a retired teacher.
That'll do it.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of what we do, and I love my school, and that even makes teaching more rewarding for me, is my love for this district.
So you're retiring this year?
I am retiring in 2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
Because I was going to say, that's going to leave a big old hole right there in second grade.
I mean, I'm sure that they would fill it with somebody very qualified.
All right. Well, how have things changed over your career? I mean, are the kids generally the same? Because you kind of have them when they're still babies.
Mm-hmm. Technology has absolutely changed, not only for them, for me.
Especially
I'm
for
not
you.
a spring chicken, so like when things go wrong with technology, it is not my strong suit.
Do one of them fix it for you?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm like, calm down. You're making me hot and bothered here. Like, it's not easy for me. And PowerPoints and all those things are not my strong suit. But mostly for them, they didn't have the Chromebooks starting out teaching. We had a lot more hard books. We had pencil paper things where you do, as a teacher, you have to adapt to that shift with technology, the change in curriculum, the expectations. And also I feel kids are different now. Their homes are different than when I started teaching. That's probably the biggest thing, is everybody seems a lot more involved with activities after school. Parents are working longer. It's just they're busy, and you can see that in the classroom too.
Do you still teach cursive?
Yes, we do.
Good.
We are finishing lowercase this, so second grade, we do lowercase cursive, and then third grade, we'll start with the uppercase cursive. But yes, we do.
That's so awesome, because it's getting to be a lost art, and I know a lot of schools where they're not teaching it, and we're going to have a bunch of kids who can't read at the Declaration of Independence.
Absolutely. So, yes, make note of that at Perryville Primary, District 32. We are teaching that cursive.
Yay,
so,
and how to read a clock, an analog clock.
Absolutely, all of those things.
Good stuff. Well, Stephanie, you've been a joy. I can't imagine why anybody would let you leave. They should just make you stay. But you're in Perryville. You love D32. Second grade's where you're at now. And what are you going to do when you retire?
Well, I'll probably come back and sub, because I don't know that I can leave them. This is my family. This is my work family.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see subbing a couple of days, camping, reading, being outside, doing all of those things. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go crazy after, I could never fully retire. I'd have to be doing something. And I think subbing is the perfect answer for you because it's who you are.
Absolutely. I can't imagine what it's like to take a vacation in the month of October, September, March, just because as teachers, that's not even on the table.
Yeah,
that's not on the table. So those are the things I look forward to.
All right. Stephanie Steffens, one of our highlighted teacher during Teacher Appreciation Month, 2nd grade at the primary school, D32 Perryville, in Teacher Appreciation Month. Stephanie, nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.